Hey guys, and welcome on into the Bet Zone Week 3 NFL picks and predictions. I am Terry Edelman at TE Picks on Twitter, and I'm ready to break down this week's slate. Of course, before we get to that, we will quickly take a look back at what happened last week, and then we will get into uh, some player stats, and then I'll break down on the spreadsheet, and then we'll get to this week's plays. Last week, Indianapolis Colts -3 did not work out. The Indianapolis Colts did not play a good game. Ended up losing that game, 0-2 on the season. Anthony Richardson, anytime touchdown, unfortunately lost. And Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown, unfortunately lost. So an 0-3 start, but Alec Pierce plus 390 got a touchdown at the end of the game. So a nice winner there by him and a very nice plus price touchdown in that game to kind of soften the blow from the other three losses. J.K. Dobbins, rush yards over 57 and a half. That cashed if you followed me on Twitter and if you bought my plays on Caprotech, then you know that I was on the 100 plus rushing yards and 125 plus rushing yards. So the 100 plus rushing yards was plus 500, and the 125 plus rushing yards was plus 1400. J.K. Dobbins back to back weeks with at least 130 rushing yards. What a start to his season. J.K. Dobbins, anytime touchdown cashes as well. He's got touchdowns in both games this season. Daniel Jones did not throw an interception. So unfortunately, that lost. I was on Washington money line in this game, which cashed. So that was a nice winner. But interception from Jones did not happen. Chiefs -5.5. Fortunately, a one point win. Um, Not Mahomes' best game, not the Chiefs' best game, but they found a way to get the victory at the end, which we'll get to here in a second. Xavier Worthy did not get a touchdown, but as I said, the Chiefs got the win. I had them parlayed with the Chargers, two-team money line parlay, so that was a winner. And then Jacksonville and Detroit, unfortunately, both lost. So that parlay did not go so well last week. Now we're going to take a look at my record. Dun, 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 dun. So overall, 27, 26, and 1 in NFL this season, which obviously 51% winning percentage doesn't sound all that great, but overall up 11.09 units in the NFL. Back-to-back winning weeks, as you can see there on the graph. Things have been going really well in the NFL for me, and I want to keep that going here this week. I will take this off and player stats. So obviously, if you guys haven't seen my video here on the channel, I have a spreadsheet where I keep all my NFL player stats that anyone can go and view. The description, the link is in the description below. Actually, I don't even think it is, but I'm going to add it after this video is done. I think I don't actually have it in there, but I will. We're going to take a look at that. Sup, Terry? Hey, Robert. How's it going? J.K. Dobbins rush yards ladder all the way up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be talking about him here in a little bit. I'm going to kind of not rush through this, but not going to go. I know it's kind of hard for people to see here. But if you like the stats I'm giving out, you can definitely go check out the spreadsheet. The link will be in the description of the video when the video is done. Thursday night football. Here, the main players to look at for tonight is Breece Hall for the Jets, 58 rushing yards per game. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll go in a little bit more. I'll go team by team. So, Breece Hall, 100 and there. because I want people to be able to see it here. There we go. That's better. So Brees Hall, 58 rushing yards per game so far, 45 and a half receiving yards per game so far. So he's really getting the ball a lot for the Jets. He's got a touchdown in back-to-back games. If you like Brees Hall, unfortunately, his touchdown prop would have to be parlayed with something, but definitely a good parlay piece there for him. You could look at Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, both guys averaging over 50 receiving yards. So you could look at those guys as well. For the Patriots, I would be looking at Ramondre Stevenson here. Let me go up here. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots. He's averaging 100 and a half rushing yards so far, and back-to-back games with a touchdown. So really, if you're looking at somebody for the Patriots, you want Stevenson. Hunter Henry has been getting receiving yards as well. So you could look at him. Not a strong offense with the Patriots. Going to Sunday. I don't know why this is like this. Sorry, guys. I was get this. Bo Nix so far has struggled. Really, all of the rookie quarterbacks so far this season has struggled. But Bo Nix back-to-back games with interceptions, and I believe he's got back-to-back games with 2 interceptions. So really, Bo Nix interception would be probably a good parlay piece here in this game. And then for the receivers, there's not much. So for Denver, I'd be looking at Bo Nix to throw an interception. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mayfield's been great. Tampa Bay's been great so far this season. The running backs, we haven't really seen much when it comes to scoring from either of those guys. So I wouldn't really be looking at those guys. Really here, so far, Chris Godwin has been the guy for Tampa Bay, averaging 100 receiving yards, back-to-back games with a touchdown. Mike Evans, always a good look as well. And then the rookie, Jalen McMillan, he's a touchdown in one of the 2 games, so you could potentially look at him there. For Houston, Minnesota, there's injury questions. Joe Mixon is questionable. Nico Collins is questionable with 2 injuries, apparently. So there's question marks there. Stephon Diggs against Minnesota, I will not be surprised if he has a big game this week. Also, Tank Dell for the Texans. And then for Minnesota, Aaron Jones, also questionable. As I said, injuries on both sides here. Sam Darnold has thrown an interception in both games so far for the Vikings, but they haven't been costly enough for the Vikings to lose the game. If Jones doesn't play, Ty Chandler's done great so far this season as well. He can fit in there. Jefferson, questionable, but looks good to go to play this week. Back-to-back games with a touchdown for him. Jordan Addison probably won't play this week. He's questionable as well. Missed last week. Jalen Naylor, back-to-back games with a touchdown for him. We will continue on. Justin Herbert's questionable for the Chargers here. We'll have to see if he plays or not. It sounds like he should be good to go to play as well. Running backs, J.K. Dobbins, what can we say, except he's had a monster first 2 games. Touchdowns of both games, averaging 133 rushing yards so far this season. Edwards, a much better second game last week. Joshua Palmer is questionable. Quentin Johnston got a touchdown last week. If you're looking at receiving for the Chargers, it would be Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnston are the 2 guys I would look at for the Chargers. Pittsburgh, Justin Fields may start. He may not. So there's question marks with him on who the starter is going to be for Pittsburgh. When it comes to the offense for Pittsburgh, there's just not really a lot there so far this year. Pittsburgh's got the job done with their defense. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles coming off that really rough loss last week. Hurts has thrown interceptions in both games. Barkley's been great. Didn't get a touchdown, which probably killed a lot of people's parlays last week. But overall, he has been good. AJ Brown should be out for this game, I believe. Apparently, he's listed as questionable, but he should be out for this game. So if you're looking at Eagles players, I'd look at Devonta Smith for receiving yards potentially. If you wanted somebody for Philadelphia, for the Saints, who are the big surprise of the season so far, Derek Carr has been great so far. One interception, one rushing touchdown, averaging 2.5 passing touchdowns per game. So it's been great for Derek Carr so far. Alvin Kamara, back-to-back games with a touchdown, averaging 46 receiving yards and 99 rushing yards so far. He's had 2 amazing games, including 3 touchdowns there in last week's game. Rashid Shaheed, multiple games, back-to-back games with a touchdown for him. He's averaging 84.5 receiving yards, so he's been getting the ball a lot. Chris Olave has been doing pretty well also when it comes to receiving yards for the Saints. We'll continue on along. Green Bay and Tennessee. I'm not really going to talk about that game. If you guys want to look at the stats, you can look at them in the spreadsheet. Will Levi, probably good for an interception as a parlay piece. He's thrown one in both games. Same thing with New York Giants, Cleveland. I'm not going to go over that game. We can check in the spreadsheet. Bears. We're not going to go over their stats, but we will look at Indianapolis. So Richardson's thrown an interception in both games so far, but overall, he's been playing pretty well. It's just the Colts have not. Jonathan Taylor has been doing pretty well, rushing, receiving. But Alec Pierce, back-to-back games with a touchdown. We cashed on him plus 390 last week, averaging 90.5 receiving yards. He's really been the guy that Richardson has passed to a lot so far this season, especially in the red zone. So Alec Pierce has been doing good. Miami, obviously no Tua. It'll be Skylar Thompson here for this game. Devon Achane, who was supposed to be questionable, ended up getting the ball all night long last week, averaging 60 rushing yards per game, 72.5 receiving yards per game, back-to-back games with a touchdown. So Devon Achane has been the guy for the Dolphins. And now, without Tua, I'd be looking at Achane props here this week. Tyreek Hill, Waddle, both averaging over 75 receiving yards per game. The issue is that they won't have Tua passing to them now. They're going to have Thompson. So I would look at Devon Achane props for Miami. Seahawks here. Question marks with Kenneth Walker the third on whether he's going to play or not. Zach Charbonnet has got touchdowns in both games so far. So if Walker doesn't play, maybe even if he does play, you want to look at Zach Charbonnet for the Seahawks. And then when it comes to receiving, DK Metcalf, really bad first game, but really got it going last week. So you could look at him potentially here for the Seahawks. Carolina Panthers and Vegas Raiders. I'm not going to go over. If you want to see those stats, spreadsheet. Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys. Again, not going to go over that one. You can check it in the spreadsheet. San Francisco 49ers. Purdy starting here at quarterback. No McCaffrey. So Jordan Mason will be in once again. Back-to-back games with a touchdown for him, averaging 123.5 rushing yards so far. So he's stepped in very well in McCaffrey's absence. Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle here. No Deebo Samuel for this game. He's now hurt as well. So really Kittle's kind of been the target for Purdy. If you're looking at receiving props, I'd probably look at George Kittle. The Rams, The Rams right now, it is the Kyron Williams show. Back-to-back games with a touchdown. I expect him to get the ball a lot because there's no Puka Nakua and there's no Cooper Cup. So we'll see exactly who gets the ball here for the Rams. Overall, no interest there for me. If you want to bet somebody, I'd be looking at Kyron Williams here in this game. Detroit and Arizona could be a very high scoring game. You can check those stats in the spreadsheet. And let me see here. And that's it. Any of the other games you guys want to check out, you can check those out in the spreadsheet, which is not yet in the description of the video, but I'm going to have it in there. Actually, you know what? It might be. I don't know. It either is or it isn't, but by the time the show is done recording, I will make sure it's in there for everyone to look at. What's up, buddy? A Kane receiving yards. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I could see him getting both. I would much more. I'd much more go with the rushing just because I don't want to trust Thompson really. JSN receptions. JSN. What's good, my guy Terry? Feels great to see you pumping out NHL and NFL content. Goodbye, Dogs Day, Dog Days of Summer. Yes, NHL preview shows are in full swing, getting close to being done, and then we've got NFL going and NHL is coming back. It's so back. Yes, I'm ready. And now it's really back because teams are taking like teams are together and practicing and everything is we're almost there. Could you give a reference roughly how many plays you had out there for this past NFL Sunday? The way I'm targeting props this week, I might have 30 plus bets out by Sunday. Yeah. So I how many plays did I have last week? I'm not sure. Not sure exactly how many I had. But let me see here. Right now, when it comes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right now, when it comes sides, totals, player props, parlays, all that, we've got 17 plays for this week so far, not including tonight. So 19 plays. 19 plays. Trying to keep it lower, but obviously there's some that I just have to play. Jackson Smith, Jigba for Seattle had 12 receptions last game. Okay, best of luck. I'm not a receptions guy just because that would just take so much more time for me to look into. So I really focus on yards and touchdown props. I'm going to go back and watch this over, miss the first 10 minutes. Hey, all good. First 10 minutes was just basically me going through the spreadsheet, giving people an update on who's been doing well lately. That was the player stats segment, and now we are getting into the picks, what everyone is most likely here for. And we will start here with the first game, which is the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans game. And my first play on the show is Jalen Naylor anytime touchdown. Plus 333 is just a fantastic price for him. He's had a touchdown in both games so far this season, and Justin Jefferson questionable. I do expect him to play. I don't think there's going to be any issue there. I don't expect Jordan Addison to play. So obviously, if guys are focusing on defending Jefferson, which they definitely should be, that's going to leave Jalen Naylor open. The fact that he's got touchdowns in back-to-back games, and he's been one of the guys that Sam Darnold has really focused on getting the ball to, no brainer to pull the trigger on the plus 333 here in this one. Yeah, he's speedy. Yeah, so I'll take him at a nice plus price here. I hit JJ first touchdown score last game, run it back. I may or may not have a play on Jefferson to get a touchdown here in this game, but you may or may not have to check on Kaepernick to see. But yeah, I would look at Jefferson. Again, he's questionable, but he should be good to go. Apparently, he's looked better yesterday in practice, so he should be good to go there. Next up, we're going with the Chargers money line as a dog here, plus 105. I've really liked what I've seen from the Chargers in both games. This team has a very strong defense. We knew Harbaugh was going to run the ball, but I don't know if we all knew how great J.K. Dobbins was going to do. I had Gus Edwards as the starting running back when this team started in week one. And all we've seen is J.K. Dobbins just put on a show for the Chargers. Pittsburgh here, they're also 2-0. So this is a battle of two 2-0s. Justin Herbert questionable for this game. I expect him to play. He's been dealing with an injury, but I expect him to play here. Pittsburgh beats Atlanta 18-10, and also Denver 13-6, both on the road. Now they're coming home here. But when you look at it here, um, both quarterbacks in both games that Pittsburgh had to face, both threw two interceptions, and also Atlanta fumbled the ball once and gave the ball to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh's been really lucky with the turnovers in the first two games, and now they're going to have to face this Chargers team, which I think is a lot better of a team than both Atlanta and Denver. So give me the Chargers as a road dog here to keep on winning. I'm very high on this Chargers team so far this year. And yes, of course, not going to be any big surprise here for anybody. J.K. Dobbins over 52 and a half rushing yards, minus 115, and J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown, plus 150. I'm not laddering Dobbins rushing yards here in this game. Uh, Not because I don't think he can get there. I don't think he gets to 130 though. Again this week, Pittsburgh has had a very good rush defense so far. Of course, they haven't faced a run game like the Chargers. So I like Dobbins to get at least 60 receiving rushing yards and then touchdown plus 150. If anyone's getting a touchdown in this game, it's probably going to be a lower scoring game. But I like Dobbins to find the end zone if anybody's going to in this game. Next up, New Orleans Saints minus 2.5, minus 115. I get it. This team was the dog. Philadelphia was the favorite, and now the lines have moved. And I get that some people will tell you you could have got the Saints as a dog, and now you've missed that, so don't bet them. How I look at it is this Philadelphia Eagles team, what a horrible loss to Atlanta. They had the 6 point lead in that game. Yes, I had the minus 5.5. And then to go and blow it and to not even try and stop Atlanta, to just give Kirk Cousins an open field to go down and get that touchdown was just awful by Philadelphia. Um, Before that, they beat Green Bay 34-29, but probably benefited from a Jordan Love injury at the end of that game. This Philadelphia team has just not looked as dominant since that losing streak last year to finish off their season. They've made some changes, but again, we're kind of seeing the same old type of thing with this Philadelphia team. New Orleans, dominant, dominant wins. Okay, 47-10 at home against Carolina. That's nothing to write home about. A lot of teams probably could do something like that. But then you go into Dallas, a very tough place to play, and the Saints win 44-19. Absolutely embarrass and dominate the Cowboys in Dallas. The Saints team's got a strong defense. They've got a strong offense. throughout the lineup. I like the -2.5. I don't care that I missed out on getting them as a dog. Um, I like the -2.5. I would not really want to take this if it moves to 3 or 3.5, though. I would like to get that 2.5 number. I don't think that the Saints win 44-20. I think this could be a little bit of a closer game, but from what we've seen so far from the Saints, I'll take them. I'll take them here against the Eagles. I trust the Saints team more. Saints +3, baby. What's with the line move though? Big Philly, big injury. No, most likely it's going to be because AJ Brown's not playing again, or at least he's doubtful. Hasn't been confirmed out, I believe, but he should be playing. Um, and obviously, with Philadelphia losing, that might be a reason for the line move. But yeah, you got +3. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I like -2.5. I get it, a big difference, but I think the Saints win this game, and they most likely cover a field goal. So I'll take that. Saquon TD, Alvin Kamara TD parlay question mark +140. Interesting. I might have a touchdown parlay coming up here in a bit. So not going to comment on that, but we'll see here in a few minutes. When I was looking at the doing the player segment there, looking at player stats so far on the season, and during the recap, of course, as well, we talked about Alec Pierce cashing his touchdown, and now here it is at +370 in this game. So if you've watched me on this channel, you guys know I like to ride streaks. I'm a streaks better. I like to ride streaks. Pierce has cashed for us last week. Um, I'm not jumping off here, especially when he is facing. Sorry, as I find it here, the Chicago Bears. Um, I like Pierce. Anytime touchdown +370. Too good of a price to pass up here with the Colts. Ravens won't start 0-3, I guarantee it. Oh, okay. Well, we got a guarantee. With that game, really, right now, I have absolutely nothing in that game. Um, Dallas, the way Dallas just got embarrassed at home, I have to think that they bounce back after that. But yeah, I can kind of agree with this though. The Ravens going 0-3, like they really want to bounce back too. So really, that's a tough game, and I'm just not on it at all. So best of luck. Colts -1. I don't trust this Colts team. I think they beat the Bears, but I don't trust them. I will take Pierce though at +370 to find the end zone. Take the Ravens. All right. I'll put some down on Ravens, bro, for real. I can't. Cowboys are favored too, LOL. I wish you luck. I wish you luck, but Colts won't beat the Bears. Uh, I think the Colts can beat the Bears. The Bears are nothing. Neither one of these teams are anything special, really, so far this season. So I think they can beat them, but I'm not going to have my money on it. Do it. No, I don't like the Ravens. I'm sorry. I've always been, obviously, I'm a Vikings fan, but I do cheer for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. So I'm not really a Ravens guy, unfortunately. Sorry. But next game, Devon Kane. We talked about him earlier in the player segment, looking at the stats. His anytime touchdowns +125 here. You have to think with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, the Miami Dolphins are going to be focusing on the run game. Raheem Mostert is questionable, so he might be returning. Uh, um, but Devon Kane, amazing game from him last week. But then again, he was given the ball all the time, all the time. So I like him to find the end zone at +125 here. I don't trust Thompson, Skylar Thompson, and that's why I'll go with the run game and the Marlins here. Colts defense, worst team in the league. Okay, okay. I'm trying to win you some money, bro. LOL. Hey, I'm up 11 units so far on NFL so far this season, so I'm doing pretty good myself. But I hope you cash. I'm not against you, so I hope you win. McDaniel looking stressed as fuck. Well, can you blame him? Can you blame him? Um, just losing 2 really hurts. It really does hurt. One more play, and then we've got the two parlays, and then we'll kind of finish off the show here. Jordan Mason over 89.5 rushing yards minus 110. I get it. That's kind of a high price or total at 89.5, but he's hit that in both games so far. He had 147 rush yards in week 1, 100 rush yards last week in week 2. And now he's facing the LA Rams, who have allowed the third most rushing yards of any team so far this season. There's no Deebo Samuel. There's no McCaffrey. I expect the 49ers to keep running the ball, especially against a team like the Rams that struggle against the run. So I'll take Jordan Mason to hit his rush yards uh, again this week. And if you're looking to do a little bit of a ladder, like we did with Dobbins, cashing the plus 500 and the plus 1400 last week, I would be looking at Mason here and maybe going a little bit further, maybe to 100 rush yards, maybe 125. Um, Probably want to go past that. But I expect a big game from Jordan Mason here with the injuries that the 49ers have to Samuel and stuff. Mason will run for 150 on the Rams easy. Well, I'm not going to say easy, but hey, that's why ladders exist. And if you take him for 150, that's going to be a very nice plus price. And you know what? Actually, since we are here, we're going to go take a look here. Let's go and take a look at rushing milestones. Obviously, you can use different books for this. My main book is Bet365 for this type of thing. So 100 rush yards is plus 120. 125 rush yards is plus 270. And if you go with the plus of the 150, it's plus 850. So plus 850 if you think he'll get 150 rush yards in this game. And it's a lot, but we'll see if he can get it done. Jordan Mason is legit. I agree. Kittle over receiving yards. Yeah, if you were going to look at somebody for receiving here, that's who I would look at. His receiving yards prop is 52 and a half. 52 and a half. So not too bad. But again, I really like Mason and the run game here. 125 to be safe. Yeah, still plus money. So I would go with that. I'd like to collab with you on an anytime touchdown score parlay, Terry. Maybe 3 to 4 legs. DK is a boost to this kind of parlay. Maybe we could come together on a winner. All right. Well, that's a good segue into my first parlay, which is a 2-team touchdown parlay. We're going with Alvin Kamara, anytime touchdown, and Jordan Mason, who we just talked about, anytime touchdown. Both guys minus 150 at Bet365 to get a touchdown. Of course, for me, minus 135 is my cutoff point. And for touchdowns, really, I'm looking at minus 125 or better. I really like plus money when it comes to touchdowns. So both of these guys minus 150 at Bet365, parlay them together, both to get a touchdown, plus 177 here. Both guys have got touchdowns in both games this season. I expect Kamara coming off the hat trick, 3 touchdowns last week. I like him to continue on here against the Eagles. And then we just talked all about Jordan Mason, and I'll take him in this 2-teamer to get plus 177 odds. And the second parlay, then I'll go into the chat here, or I'll go into the chat after the parlay and then mention my cap protect. But Chiefs money line, Bills money line, 2-team parlay plus 128. I like the Chiefs to get the job again. Atlanta, only won that game because Philadelphia gifted it to them on a silver platter. Atlanta was going to be 0-2 until that. You're going to give me washed up Kirk Cousins. I get it. He played somewhat better. But again, Philadelphia gifted him that last drive. You're going to give me washed up Kirk Cousins in prime time against Patrick Mahomes, who's coming off one of his worst games of his career. I like the Chiefs. Now, Chiefs is around -3.5 on the spread. Without Pacheco, that is going to be a big loss for the Chiefs. So I like the Chiefs to win, which is -180. I don't like the -3.5. So I'm going to parlay them with the Buffalo Bills, who are at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What else needs to be said there? Jacksonville just not looking good so far this year. Buffalo, a lot of people, and kind of including myself, expected them to take a step back, and we've yet to see that. They did start off slow against Arizona in that first game, but able to come back, dominated Miami. We'll take this two-teamer for +128. Before I get to the chat, if you want all of my plays, sides, totals, parlays, player props, baseball, CFL, NFL, everything, all my plays are available. TerryEdelmanPicks.cappertech.com. You can get a one-day pass for $10. And my prices are there. All my plays, cappertech.com, in the description below. We will go to the main screen and then we'll jump into the chat here. 52.5, LOL. I'm taking the over on that all day. Yeah, I'm on it. Detroit Lions game. Right now, I've got nothing. I do expect that to be a higher scoring game. I don't like what I've really seen from the Lions so far. Montgomery touchdown, probably a good parlay piece, but really haven't really got to anything there on that one yet. Take over on Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. yards. I could agree with that. Murray's looked great. And then MHJ looked really good last week for the Cardinals. So they've been a very high scoring team, which makes me lean with the over, but haven't got to it. Probably on Amon-Ra St. Brown too. Not a bad look. That game is the highest total points this week. I agree. I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but I agree. Packers +125. Yuck. But Jordan Love could be back. He might not be back. Too many questions for me to pull the trigger. Thanks, Terry. No problem. Thanks, Top Geo, for watching. Again, all my plays, cappertech.com. You can request a one-day free trial, and I'll give it to you. So you can request that and get all my plays for free on a one-day trial. Follow me on cappertech.com. And check out all the NHL season preview shows. NHL content is coming soon. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys on the next show. Best of luck this week, guys.